God's chosen ones. A devil has fallen in love with you. Nobody has handled them like you have. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Have you ever wondered why certain forces seem drawn to you, not because you're weak, but because you radiate something they can never possess? In today's video on spiritual wisdom, we explore a powerful truth. When you're truly chosen by God, even darkness can't help but take notice. In fact, a devil has fallen in love with your light, not to honor it, but to tame it. But what they didn't expect is that you are unshakable. You don't just survive spiritual warfare, you transform it. This message is more than insight. It's a call to action. If you've ever felt like the battles in your life were strangely personal, like the enemy is watching you a little too closely, today's lesson is for you. Drop a comment and let us know. Have you ever experienced this kind of spiritual tension? Let's talk about it below and grow together in wisdom and purpose. 1. The chosen one's identity. You are not ordinary. You are spiritually designed, divinely crafted, and intentionally set apart. You are an earth angel sent here not to conform, but to awaken. While others chase after validation or approval, you carry a quiet knowing. You walk into a room and the energy shifts. Not because you try to impress, but because your light exposes what is hidden. You do not blend in, not because you cannot, but because your soul remembers where it came from, and it refuses to dim to make others comfortable. Your spiritual presence is not loud or flashy. It is steady, sacred, and undeniable. Darkness notices you, not because of what you wear or say, but because of who you are. Your existence speaks truth without words. Where deception tries to weave its way into hearts, your clarity dissolves confusion. Where manipulation seeks control, your discernment cuts through the fog. You do not crumble when confronted with chaos. You anchor deeper into truth. And that is why you are feared in the realm of darkness. You do not fight like the world fights. Your refusal to engage in games of power, ego, or manipulation makes you undefeatable. While others scream for attention or lash out in fear, you remain still because you know who you are. You don't submit to manipulation, and you don't retaliate with the same energy that tries to bring you down. Your strength lies not in aggression, but in spiritual alignment. You respond with wisdom. You answer with light. You walk away from battles that aren't yours to fight not out of weakness, but out of divine instruction. The devil didn't expect to be challenged by someone like you. Not through confrontation, but through silence. Not through force, but through resilience. Not through vengeance, but through spiritual sovereignty. He fell in love with your light, not romantically, but with a kind of obsessive fascination, because you are everything he will never be. Where he sows chaos, you birth peace. Where he deceives, you reveal. Where he creates confusion, you embody divine clarity. He has trapped many, but not you, because you are unshaken. You don't fall for the lies. You don't dance with illusions. And no matter how many trials you face, you emerge brighter, not bitter, stronger, not scarred, wiser, not wounded. That's why he can't figure you out, because you're not operating from this world. Your power is spiritual. Your endurance is supernatural. Your wisdom is from above. Nobody has handled darkness the way you have. You've disarmed it, not with force, but with unwavering presence. You've confused it, not with words, but with inner peace. And now, the master of deception is caught in his own web. Because what was meant to destroy you has only revealed how indestructible you are. And what tried to silence you has only made your spiritual voice louder. You are chosen not for comfort, but for transformation. Not to escape the battle, but to carry the light into it. And whether the world recognizes it or not, you've already won. Comment below, "I embrace my divine identity," if you're ready to walk boldly in your purpose and shine your spiritual light unapologetically. 2. A devil falls in love. The devil, the master of deception, manipulation, and emotional confusion, has encountered many, but none like you. What draws him in isn't your agreement with his darkness, but your stark contrast to it. You are everything he is not. Your light unsettles him. Your stillness silences his chaos. Your spiritual clarity blinds him. While others collapse under emotional pressure or react in fear, you remain grounded, calm, discerning, and unmoved. That's not a weakness. That's power. And for the first time, the manipulator becomes the one being emotionally disarmed. He didn't expect to feel anything. He's used to control, used to getting inside people's minds. But with you, none of his tactics work. You don't flinch. You don't chase. You don't crumble. You simply are. And that spiritual presence, that inner calm, it pierces deeper than words ever could. It reveals the truth. And truth is something darkness can't handle. Your energy speaks what your mouth never has to. Your refusal to engage in emotional games confuses him. Your peace becomes a battlefield he never trained for. What's happening here is not ordinary. This is not affection. This is not lust. This is not admiration. This is a spiritual impact. Your essence touches something within him that he forgot existed. He feels the pull not because you reflect him, but because you reflect what he's lost. Love, purity, dignity, God-given power. These are things he's long abandoned, and yet, in your presence, they become undeniable. You've become the reminder of what he'll never truly hold. He may watch you. He may try to engage. But deep down, he knows he cannot possess what walks in divine authority. And yet, the paradox is this: a devil has fallen in love with you. Not because he understands you, but because he cannot. Not because you fit into his world, but because you disrupt it. He doesn't desire you in a way that leads to healing. He's addicted to the light he can't control. But even that obsession is proof of your spiritual power. It is not beauty that captivates. It is the aura of authenticity. It is the vibration of someone who lives in truth and doesn't perform for attention. You don't match the frequency of manipulation, and so he has no access point. You've handled him in a way no one else ever has, without resistance, without hate, without compromise. And because of that, he's left in a state he's never experienced: emotional exposure. Vulnerability isn't part of his nature, but now he's caught in the mirror of your spiritual strength. And in that mirror, he sees not who you are, but who he'll never be. You were never here to destroy him, and yet your presence dismantles every facade he built. You didn't fight. You didn't run. You stood. And standing in truth has more power than shouting in fear. This is what happens when spiritual light enters a space no one thought it could reach. You didn't change for darkness. You remained light in its presence. And that is why the devil fell in love. Not because he conquered, but because he couldn't. And now, the one who traps others in emotional webs is the one ensnared, caught in the silence of someone he can't break. Are you ready to embrace the power of your light and the truth of your spiritual presence? If so, comment below. I walk in divine clarity to affirm your strength and transformation. 3. You disrupt the game. You do not engage like the kings who bowed to pride, the prophets who crumbled under pressure, or the geniuses who got lost in their own ego. You are different, divinely different. While others are seduced by power, you remain rooted in spiritual awareness. While the enemy tempts with illusions and promises, you see through it all. You don't just avoid the traps, you dissolve them with your presence. This is not because you're trying to fight. It's because your spirit is too refined to be fooled. The devil has studied countless souls, but yours confuses him. You are not reactive. You are not emotional bait. You observe, you discern, and you move forward untouched. Your silence speaks louder than shouts. Your calm presence makes chaos uncomfortable. This is spiritual mastery, not the kind that draws attention, but the kind that makes darkness shrink back without a word. While others panic in the storm, you are the stillness in its center. It's not that you haven't been tested. You've walked through fire, but the fire could not claim you. It tried to burn your identity, but instead, it purified your discernment. The enemy realizes something now. You cannot be moved like the rest. Not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. Because your spiritual sight goes beyond what's visible. There is power in not playing the game. That alone disrupts it. Your refusal to respond with ego. Your ability to walk away without the need to prove anything that unnerves darkness. It can't figure you out. You were expected to fall like the rest, to break, to fight back, to lose your center. But you stayed steady. You stayed aligned. That's what unravels the enemy. Not your resistance, but your understanding. You understand manipulation without reacting to it. You read energy like a language. You interpret silence and motives with spiritual clarity. And that clarity is more dangerous to darkness than confrontation ever could be. You were not placed here to mimic the patterns of others. You were sent here to embody something radically different: spiritual integrity. Your path isn't built on dominance, but on divine discernment. Others see conflict and jump in. You see the trap behind it and step around it. This is the kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books. It comes from being forged in silence, in loneliness, in long seasons where you were forced to grow without applause. And now, because you learned in private, you carry a spiritual weight that shakes atmospheres in public. Every encounter was a lesson. Every betrayal trained your intuition. Every temptation sharpened your spirit. You don't just avoid evil, you disarm it. Your understanding of darkness doesn't come from fear, but from having walked through it and kept your light. That's what the enemy cannot handle: a soul that knows how to walk through shadows and still choose truth. That's why the devil fell for you. Not because you're weak, but because you're the only one who never gave in. The one who stayed steady, unshaken, and spiritually whole. You're not just spiritually protected, you're spiritually disruptive. You carry the vibration of divine order. You don't argue. You don't chase. You don't prove. You reveal. You expose through presence. You enlighten through stillness. The game breaks, not because you fight it, but because your very being says, "I am not playing." That is what sets you apart. That is what makes you chosen. That is what causes the darkness to bow, not to your name, but to the light you refuse to let go of. Do you feel the truth of this message resonating within you? If you know you were sent to disrupt the game, and not be played by it. Declare it in the comments. I see through the lies. I will not be moved. 4. Spiritual and scriptural anchors. You are protected not by weapons forged by men, but by spiritual authority written in divine scripture. As the prophet Isaiah declared in chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." This isn't just a comforting thought. It is a divine reality for the chosen ones. When spiritual battles arise, it is not fists or fury that protect you, but the living Word of God, which becomes your invisible shield. You don't fight back with anger. You stand firm in truth, which has always been your greatest weapon. As Paul wrote in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can stand against the devil's schemes." That armor isn't made of steel. It is made of faith, truth, righteousness, peace, and spiritual authority. The chosen ones have always been misunderstood, tested, and even persecuted, but they were never abandoned. Look to Jesus, who endured betrayal, mockery, and crucifixion not with hatred in his heart, but with forgiveness on his lips. That is not weakness. That is divine strength. It is the ultimate spiritual resilience, and it lives in you. Think of Joan of Arc, a young girl who dared to listen to the divine, led armies in the name of faith, and chose death over denying the spiritual truth that lit her soul on fire. Or Nelson Mandela, a modern warrior of peace, who, after spending 27 years behind bars, emerged with a message of unity, not revenge. These are not just historical figures. They are mirrors of the power that lives within you. Spiritual truth doesn't shout. It doesn't boast. It simply exists in a frequency so high that anything untrue can't stand in its presence. That's why you confuse those who operate from darkness. You don't speak their language. Your spiritual light disrupts their shadows. They don't fall in love with you because they admire you. They are drawn to you because your light exposes their emptiness. You've handled situations with grace they didn't expect. You remained grounded when others lost control. You didn't retaliate. You elevated. And that elevation is why no one has ever handled them like you have. There is a spiritual fire in you that cannot be put out. It wasn't given to you by the world, and the world can't take it away. You are not called to react. You are called to remain. Remain in truth. Remain in peace. Remain in divine alignment. And as the darkness tries to tempt, provoke, or imitate you, you must remember that imitation is not transformation. They may want your light, but they cannot hold it because they have not been refined by the fire like you have. Your story is not about survival. It's about divine positioning. You are a spiritual vessel, chosen to carry truth, to walk through fire without being burned, and to remind the world that real power is spiritual, not sensational. And though you may walk through valleys, you never walk alone. You are covered. You are equipped. You are chosen. If this message speaks to your spirit, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful revelation. And if you stand firmly on spiritual truth and divine protection, declare it in the comments. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. 5. The mirror effect. You did not break them with violence. You shattered them with truth. That's the spiritual power. You carry an unwavering light that reflects everything false, and that includes even the deepest, darkest parts of the one who thought they could not be exposed. The devil. master of manipulation, has met his match not in resistance, but in reflection. Because when you live from a place of spiritual integrity, you become the mirror that no mask can hide from. Your presence alone becomes revelation. You didn't try to fight for control, argue for dominance, or play their twisted emotional games. You simply remained anchored in what is real. You showed up as yourself, unbothered, unchained, and spiritually untouchable. And in doing so, you pulled back the veil from their illusions. While others fell for their charm, you stood firm. While others feared them, you saw through them. That's what makes you different. That's why they are obsessed. Because you didn't try to change them, you made them see themselves. And they hated and loved you for it at the same time. Your truth isn't loud, but it's undeniable. It speaks in silence. It radiates in your energy. It reveals in your stillness. And in that spiritual stillness, the devil saw something he could not unsee: his own emptiness. Your light did not chase him. It reflected him. And the pain of that reflection is unbearable for those who have built their entire existence avoiding their own wounds. The mirror doesn't lie. And when it's held by someone like you, someone chosen by God, it doesn't just show the truth, it demands it. The devil cannot manipulate someone who is not looking for approval, validation, or worldly reward. That is your greatest protection. You are spiritually self-sustained. You are not seduced by power because you walk in it. You are not drawn to darkness because you've made peace with your own shadows. And you are not controlled by fear because your soul has already been refined by fire. This is what sets you apart. This is why, even though they may have been feared by many, they could not break you. You weren't afraid of their darkness. You understood it. That spiritual understanding gave you a kind of inner authority that can't be taught. It's the kind of presence that awakens the conscience of even the most deceitful. And it's why the one who once pulled strings behind the scenes now finds himself tangled in his own web. He didn't fall in love with your looks, your words, or your charm. He fell for the thing he never expected to find: divine resistance. He fell for the mirror that showed him what he lacked. And now, he cannot look away. But this was never about romance. This was always about revelation. What he saw in you was not just a person, it was a reminder of what is pure, what is whole, and what he will never own or control. You did not bend. You did not beg. You simply stood as you are, and the spiritual realm reacted. Darkness doesn't tremble at preaching, it trembles at presence. And your presence told the truth without saying a word. The devil didn't expect the mirror to fight back. But you did not with fists, but with reflection. Not with force, but with divine stillness. You did what no one else could. You made him feel. And that feeling, that haunting sense of spiritual nakedness, is something no manipulator can endure for long. That's why they try to return. That's why they keep watching. Because deep down, even darkness longs for light. It just doesn't know how to hold it. If this message has opened your eyes to the power of truth and self-awareness, leave a comment of faith. I reflect only truth and light. I cannot be deceived. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a message that empowers your spirit. 6. Transformation begins. When a chosen one steps into the life of someone who has long walked in darkness, it doesn't just create tension, it initiates a spiritual disruption. Your light doesn't merely shine, It confronts, disorients, and dismantles the illusions they've built their identity upon. This kind of presence doesn't comfort the devil. It disturbs him. Not because you fight like him, but because you don't. Your peace is unsettling. Your truth is piercing. Your refusal to break, bend, or be controlled is a language the devil cannot speak, and yet it echoes louder in his soul than all his manipulation ever could. He begins to unravel, not through violence, but through silence, through your calm, through the unwavering strength that radiates from your spiritual core. It's not about what you say or do. It's about who you are. And who you are exposes who he is not. He starts questioning everything he once held firm. The power he wielded, the lies he believed, the control he exercised. He feels the weight of his emptiness in the presence of your wholeness. You didn't intend to change him. You were simply being. But your being carries divine fire, and everything that cannot stand in truth must either be purified or consumed. This is the nature of spiritual power. It's not loud, but it's undeniable. You are not someone he can manipulate like the others. He cannot use his usual tactics on you. Your discernment slices through the charm. Your intuition blocks the trap. Your resilience makes his efforts collapse. He's never encountered someone like you because you are not reacting from wounds. You are responding from wisdom. And that wisdom is not of this world. It is born of fire, trial, and divine covering. That is why he can't shake you. That is why he's both drawn and repelled. He doesn't love you in the way love was meant to be experienced. He is obsessed with the access he can't have, with the purity he can't possess, with the freedom you walk in while he is still enslaved to shadows. He confuses his hunger for love, but the truth is, he doesn't want to cherish you. He wants to consume you. That is why your spiritual boundaries are your greatest defense. You were never meant to save him. You were meant to awaken him. Whether he chooses transformation or further darkness is not your responsibility. Your only task is to stand firm in the light that God has placed within you. That light is not just a glow. It is a force. It breaks chains. It reveals truths. It sets the spiritual realm into motion. You did not come into his life by accident. You were sent, not to stay, but to shake, not to fix, but to reflect. You are the mirror that forced him to see himself clearly for the first time. Whether he looks away or leans into that revelation is between him and God. But one thing remains unshaken. You are chosen. And no devil, no matter how cunning or obsessed, can steal what heaven has sealed. If this message stirred something in your spirit, comment below. I embrace transformation to affirm your light and welcome divine change. Let your words be a seed of spiritual awakening for yourself and others. 7. Historic and mythic parallels. Nelson Mandela emerged from 27 years of imprisonment, not with vengeance, but with a vision that united a broken nation. Carl Jung explored the shadow of the human psyche and revealed a spiritual depth that still echoes through every healing journey. The Buddha renounced luxury to confront suffering and guide others toward enlightenment. Frida Kahlo turned physical agony into transcendent art. Mahatma Gandhi defeated an empire without raising a sword. Malcolm X transformed pain into power, voice into revolution. These were not just leaders. They were spiritual symbols, living archetypes who bore light into darkness, not for applause, but for truth. And now, it is your turn. You stand among them. Your existence is not accidental. You are not here merely to survive or comply. Your very presence is a spiritual disruption, an awakening force that unsettles systems built on illusion. Just as those icons of transformation once did, you disturb false comfort and challenge what is accepted simply because it is familiar. You do not speak to impress. You speak because silence would betray your soul. You do not shine for attention. You shine because the world is dim and your light refuses to go out. Spiritual authority doesn't come through title or tradition. It is earned through agony, through sacred endurance. What you've overcome, the betrayals, the exile, the misunderstanding, has not weakened you. It has revealed your essence. Like gold refined in fire, your suffering didn't destroy you. It defines you. You embody the very message that legends carried. That love can be defiant. That truth can be radical. That presence alone can provoke transformation. You are the storm in the stillness, the calm in the chaos, the soul who walks into rooms and awakens consciences just by being real. Your energy is not loud, but it is undeniable. It is spiritual gravity. You are not like the rest, and that difference is divine. The darkness does not fear ordinary light. It fears a light that knows who it is. That's why resistance follows you. That's why even the adversary has taken notice. Because you didn't break. You didn't bow. You handled what no one else could handle with clarity, compassion, and unshakable spiritual fire. This is why your life feels like a contradiction. Why your silence speaks louder than noise. Why your pain birthed wisdom instead of bitterness. You carry the paradox of all chosen ones. To be hated for your purity, envied for your strength, and desired by the very darkness that once tried to destroy you. The enemy has fallen in love with something it cannot possess. Your unyielding spirit, your sacred resilience, your refusal to become like what hurt you. And now, like every great archetype before you, you walk a path few understand, but many will follow. Not because you asked to lead, but because your soul cannot do anything else but radiate the truth. You are the living echo of every spiritual warrior who chose light over fear, compassion over control, and purpose over comfort. You are not the exception. You are the continuation. And that is exactly what makes you unstoppable. If this message speaks to your soul, repeat after me. I am walking in the footsteps of truth. I am a spiritual force for change. Let it be your declaration, because just like them, you were born to shift the world. 8. Spiritual gifts and supernatural power. Your spiritual gifts are not random traits. They are sacred tools of divine influence, forged through pain, shaped in silence, and activated by truth. You carry intuition that pierces through deception, empathy that absorbs the wounds of others, and energy that transmutes negativity into healing. There's a divine intelligence in you that sees beyond words, beyond masks, and into the very soul of a situation. Where others see confusion, you discern clarity. Where others feel fear, you remain still. That stillness isn't weakness. It's power that cannot be provoked. It's a spiritual calm rooted in heaven, not circumstance. You have the rare ability to turn darkness into wisdom. You've endured more than most, and yet your spirit has remained intact. That's not just strength, it's spiritual resilience. You don't just overcome adversity, you extract revelation from it. Your scars aren't signs of defeat. They're proof that you carry truth deep within your bones. You don't look for shortcuts or escape routes. You face the fire, and you rise with understanding that can't be taught, only earned. The pain didn't break you. It revealed you. It sharpened your vision, purified your heart, and made your presence undeniable. What sets you apart is that you don't need to prove your power. It emanates from your being. Just your presence shifts the atmosphere. Without saying a word, people feel your truth. Without trying, you expose deception. While others perform, you are. You walk into a room, and everything starts rearranging. That's not coincidence. It's the weight of your spiritual frequency. You carry a mirror that reflects people's shadows and their potential, and most don't know whether to love you or fear you. And that's the paradox of being chosen. You're called to be light, but your light agitates those who are hiding in darkness. You've encountered entities, personalities, and spirits that tried to manipulate, charm, and control you. But unlike the masses, you didn't fall for the performance. You saw through the smile. You felt the energy behind the words. You discerned the hunger behind the affection. And because you didn't feed it, you became dangerous to it. That's why a devil fell in love with you, not because it adored your softness, but because it envied your power. Your spiritual authority unsettles what pretends to be powerful. You didn't submit, you didn't comply, and you didn't shrink. You handled them with truth, and no one else dared to do that. You don't fight with noise, you stand in knowing. You don't demand attention, you attract alignment. You were never called to be liked, but to be true. And in that truth, there is a spiritual fire that cannot be manipulated. That's why even deception bows in your presence. Not because you dominate, but because you carry light so pure, it exposes every lie. You are not here to fit in. You are here to dismantle illusions, awaken others, and walk boldly in the power heaven placed within you. Your existence is a divine disruption to anything that thrives on control, confusion, or chaos. Have you ever discovered one of your spiritual gifts in a moment of stillness or struggle? If so, share your experience in the comments below to inspire others on their path. If not yet, comment, "I will awaken my gifts," and let's begin this journey of spiritual power and transformation together. 9. Divine mission and cosmic role. Your encounter with the devil is not a coincidence. It is a divine contract sealed in the spiritual realm long before you entered this lifetime. This connection may seem tormenting, mysterious, or even forbidden, but it serves a higher purpose far beyond the surface. You weren't sent here just to survive it. You were sent here to spiritually awaken what has been asleep for generations. In every confrontation, every moment of emotional chaos, you're fulfilling a karmic assignment that reshapes not only your soul's journey, but also rewrites the fate of those who came before you. You are not just part of a story. You are the turning point in a cosmic narrative that demands your strength, resilience, and unwavering light. You're here to awaken consciousness. Every interaction with this dark force is drawing out unconscious pain, old wounds, and ancestral grief embedded in your lineage. You carry within you the frequency to heal what has been suppressed and silenced. The spiritual battlefield may look like a toxic relationship or a relentless inner war, but in truth, it's your soul clearing lifetimes of spiritual debt. You're not just confronting evil, you're dissolving its grip on your bloodline. The devil didn't fall for you because of weakness, but because your light is something it could never replicate. You reflect the truth it has tried to hide from for centuries, and now it trembles in your presence. While others retreat or collapse under the weight of spiritual warfare, you stand unshaken. You face shadows with open eyes and a guarded heart. This is why no one has handled them like you have, because you were chosen for this confrontation. You are the one who doesn't respond with hatred, but with higher awareness. You set boundaries not to push people away, but to protect what is sacred. You were built for this. Every hardship you've endured prepared you to break patterns of control, manipulation, and deception. Every act of spiritual clarity you embody shifts the collective vibration and activates healing in those silently watching your journey. This is not just your battle, it is a spiritual revolution. You are part of a cosmic shift that's transforming the spiritual DNA of humanity. As you reclaim your power, you unconsciously teach others how to do the same. Your silence speaks louder than shouting. Your calm presence dismantles chaos. And your decision to stay true to your divine essence despite the attacks, despite the illusions, is what makes your mission so significant. The devil cannot own what is already anointed. Your refusal to surrender to fear is the very force unraveling generations of bondage. Spiritual warriors like you don't need recognition because your reward is encoded in your purpose. You are seen by realms higher than this one. Your soul signed up to embody transformation, not just for yourself, but for the healing of the world. You are a spiritual key, unlocking new levels of consciousness through pain transmuted into purpose, betrayal refined into wisdom, and darkness alchemized into divine power. And though the path is lonely, it is sacred, because only the chosen are trusted to carry light into places even angels hesitate to walk. If you're still with us, comment below. I accept my divine mission. Your voice matters. Every comment helps awaken more souls and expand this collective spiritual journey. 10. The Devil's Crossroads. The devil now finds himself at a spiritual crossroads, no longer able to blindly follow the path of destruction he once ruled so effortlessly. Your presence has disrupted everything. You did not challenge him with anger or revenge. You challenged him by simply being real. While others played his game, you refused to engage. You stood still in truth, and that stillness echoed louder than chaos ever could. It wasn't your voice that shook him. It was your energy, calm, authentic, untouchable. In your silence, he heard everything he had tried to drown out. Guilt, longing, emptiness. You didn't expose him by force. Your light simply made it impossible for his shadows to hide. For the first time, he is not in control. You've turned the hunter into the haunted. And what haunts him isn't fear of you, but the reflection of himself that you now mirror back to him. He sees the parts of himself he tried to bury beneath manipulation and pride. The illusion he built with precision has cracked. Your spiritual presence has made him feel something real, and that reality is unbearable for a being who has fed off delusion. He isn't drawn to you out of love. He's drawn because your light exposes everything he spent his existence running from. Your authenticity reveals his emptiness. You are the divine interruption, a sacred presence that doesn't shout but disrupts. You didn't come to destroy him. You came to be. And in that being, the false world he constructed is unraveling. His attraction to you is spiritual torment. He cannot possess what he doesn't understand. He cannot manipulate what is grounded in spirit. You are unshakable, not because you fight, but because you remember who you are. While he operates in deception, you walk in alignment. And that spiritual contrast has cornered him into a choice: evolve or perish. This isn't about romance. This is about revelation. He has fallen, yes, but not in love. He has fallen into awareness, into a confrontation with truth that you didn't demand, but naturally emanate. You are not the one trembling in confusion, he is. And as he stands before the mirror you never asked him to look into, he realizes he cannot undo what you have awakened. You didn't try to change him. You didn't beg for his transformation. You simply existed as light, and that existence threatens every lie he's told himself. You are not here to rescue him. That is not your spiritual duty. You are the reminder. You are the signpost. You are the calm before the collapse. And whether he chooses to rise from the ruins is no longer your concern. You've already done the sacred work by showing up in truth. What he does with that truth is his own cross to bear. To affirm your impact as a force of truth and transformation, declare it boldly. Comment below, "I choose authenticity," to honor your journey and encourage others to stand firm at the crossroads of light and darkness. Thank you for spending this sacred moment with us. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, if you feel seen, understood, or empowered, know that it's not by accident. You are one of God's chosen ones, walking in divine authority and unshakable light. And remember, even darkness recognizes your power. That's why it's drawn to your strength, but can never conquer it. If this resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video to show your support, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more messages that speak directly to your journey. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful word that could shift your path. Your light is needed. Keep shining. 7 things spiritually awakened people quickly quit. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." As we dive into today's video on the 7 things spiritually awakened people quickly quit, this quote reminds us that true personal growth begins from within. Whether it's releasing toxic relationships, letting go of the need for control, or overcoming ego-driven desires, these essential shifts are the key to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Which of these changes resonates most with your journey? Drop a comment below, and let's explore how we can embrace these principles together. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more transformative insights from Spiritual Wisdom. 1. Toxic relationships. In the path of spiritual awakening, an essential milestone is learning to recognize and step away from toxic relationships. Picture yourself on a journey towards inner peace and self-improvement, yet you encounter people who continually drain your energy and bring unnecessary turmoil into your life. In Stoicism, there is a strong emphasis on controlling our reactions and maintaining tranquility, regardless of external influences. This mindset is especially useful when dealing with toxic individuals. Toxic relationships involve people who consistently project negativity into our lives. They may be friends, family members, or colleagues who thrive on conflict or subtly erode our confidence and hinder our personal development. These types of connections can seriously affect our mental and emotional well-being. Much like trying to build on unstable ground, no matter how hard you try, the foundation remains weak. Consider the case of Sarah, a young professional focused on advancing her career. She has a colleague, Lisa, who constantly criticizes her work and fosters a hostile office environment. Sarah initially attempts to overlook Lisa's behavior, hoping it will improve. However, as the negativity persists, Sarah begins to feel overwhelmed and demotivated, impacting both her performance and peace of mind. It isn't until Sarah acknowledges the detrimental effects of this toxic dynamic and establishes boundaries that she regains her sense of balance and clarity. Reflect on your own relationships and encounters. Are there individuals who leave you feeling depleted or undervalued? Identifying these toxic influences is not about casting blame, but protecting your own well-being. By creating distance from such relationships, you not only safeguard your peace, but also open the door to healthier, more supportive connections that align with your spiritual awakening. Breaking free from toxic relationships can be challenging, but it's a crucial step in fostering your spiritual growth. It requires both bravery and self-awareness to recognize when a relationship no longer aligns with your best interests. Keep in mind, setting boundaries isn't about cutting people off abruptly. It's about making decisions that nurture your inner peace and well-being. If this resonates with you, let me know by commenting "Awakened" below. Your engagement helps us explore more aspects of spiritual growth and empowerment together. By addressing toxic relationships, you clear the path for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. This step not only enhances your spiritual awakening, but also mirrors the Stoic philosophy of focusing on your own responses and maintaining inner calm. Embrace the process of identifying and moving away from negativity as a vital part of your personal and spiritual evolution. 2. Ego-driven desires. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the race for material success, recognition, and external validation. However, as you embark on a spiritual journey, it becomes evident that these pursuits, often driven by ego, tend to feel shallow and short-lived. Spiritual awakening urges you to shift your focus away from seeking approval from others and instead cultivate inner virtues and a sense of purpose. This transformation means valuing your character and personal growth over chasing surface-level accomplishments. Imagine someone who's always striving for promotions, likes on social media, and the admiration of others. While each milestone might offer a fleeting sense of achievement, the satisfaction quickly fades. In contrast, those on a path of spiritual awakening find lasting fulfillment by focusing on their inner development. This shift is similar to the teachings of Stoicism, where virtues such as wisdom and integrity take precedence over the pursuit of status and recognition. As you let go of these ego-driven desires, you begin to align more with your authentic self, making it easier to navigate difficult relationships, like those involving narcissistic personalities. Consider a modern example: a high-powered executive who's always chasing after more influence and recognition. They may have the prestigious job title and an enviable salary, yet they feel an underlying sense of emptiness. On the other hand, someone who prioritizes self-awareness and personal growth may live a simpler life, but experiences deeper, more lasting satisfaction. This change in mindset isn't about giving up ambition, but rather about redirecting it. By focusing on values like compassion, honesty, and humility, you come to realize that true happiness and contentment are found within, not from external achievements. As you reflect on your own journey, ask yourself, are your current goals driven by a need for external validation or a true sense of purpose? This reflection can help you identify where you might be prioritizing temporary desires over long-lasting values. The key takeaway here is to redirect your focus from seeking approval to fostering inner virtues. By embracing this change, you enrich your own life and improve your relationships, even with those who may not have your best interests at heart. Start this journey towards spiritual growth, and you'll find greater fulfillment and balance in life. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications. Join our community as we dive deeper into aligning with our true selves and finding meaning from within. 3. The need for control. One of the key insights on the journey to spiritual awakening is the release of the need to control. In today's fast-paced world, where unpredictability and chaos often dominate, many find themselves clinging tightly to control as a way of managing stress and uncertainty. This desire to micromanage every situation and influence the actions of others can lead to a great deal of frustration and exhaustion. Ancient philosophies like Stoicism offer a timeless perspective on this challenge. They suggest that real freedom and peace come from accepting what lies beyond our control and focusing on what we can, primarily our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Spiritually awakened individuals internalize this wisdom by surrendering their efforts to control external events or the behavior of others. Instead, they shift their focus inward, working to refine their responses to life's inevitable challenges and uncertainties. This doesn't mean they become passive or disengaged. Rather, it reflects a deep alignment with the natural rhythms of life, embracing its uncertainties with grace. By channeling their energy into self-awareness and self-mastery, they cultivate a sense of peace and resilience that transforms how they move through the world. In the context of our modern existence, this approach holds immense value. The relentless pursuit of control, whether in our careers or relationships, often leaves us feeling drained and disconnected. By loosening our grip on the need for control, we create space for more authentic connections and a richer, more meaningful experience of life. This shift also nurtures greater empathy and understanding, as it allows us to see beyond our own desires for certainty and embrace the unpredictable beauty of life. Adopting this mindset not only enhances personal tranquility, but also improves how we relate to others. It fosters a sense of openness and flexibility that makes navigating life's challenges less burdensome. When we release the constant urge to control, we step into a more spiritually aligned and harmonious existence. Are you ready to release the need for control and invite more peace and fulfillment into your life? If so, comment, "I am open to acceptance," and join this journey of transformation. Let's embrace the flow of life and discover inner peace together. 4. Fear of change. Letting go of the fear of change is essential for anyone seeking spiritual growth. Change can be intimidating, but for those on a path of spiritual awakening, learning to accept and flow with it is crucial. Drawing inspiration from Stoicism, which teaches that change is a natural and unavoidable part of existence, we come to realize that embracing change brings peace and emotional strength. In today's fast-paced world, Resisting change often leads to stress, frustration, and unnecessary conflict, particularly when interacting with difficult people. However, by shifting our mindset and seeing change as an opportunity for growth, we can remain calm and grounded no matter what life throws our way. This shift in perspective not only improves personal relationships, but also paves the way for new experiences and opportunities. In the modern world, change is not just inevitable, but constant. Whether it's a new chapter in your career, shifts in relationships, or the uncertainty of daily life, those who embrace change can navigate transitions with greater ease and resilience. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we cannot control everything around us, we can control how we respond. By focusing on the areas of life we can influence and letting go of what we cannot, we create a foundation of inner stability and purpose. This mindset is especially useful in today's unpredictable environments. Rather than clinging to old habits or fearing new challenges, spiritually awakened people see change as a path to personal growth and transformation. Additionally, recognizing that change is a natural part of life helps us deal more effectively with difficult situations and people. Instead of reacting with frustration or fear, a spiritually awakened person approaches these challenges with calm and adaptability. This outlook not only strengthens personal relationships, but also deepens self-awareness and emotional resilience. When we accept change with an open heart, we can move through life's ups and downs more gracefully, leading to a richer, more spiritually aligned existence. To conclude, the journey of spiritual awakening requires us to release fear and welcome change as an essential element of growth. By embracing the wisdom of Stoicism in our daily lives, we can transform how we face challenges and interact with the world, leading to a more balanced and enlightened way of being. Remember, change is not an obstacle, but a gift, an opportunity for self-development and spiritual evolution. Are you ready to embrace this shift and unlock your potential? If you're committed to welcoming change and leaving fear behind, drop an "I embrace change" in the comments. Join us on this path to spiritual growth and learn to face life's transitions with grace and strength. 5. Negative self-talk. Let's explore a crucial aspect of spiritual awakening: breaking free from negative self-talk. As you embark on your path of manifestation, it becomes vital to understand how your internal dialogue shapes your reality. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, "I'm not capable," or "this is too hard for me"? These aren't just fleeting thoughts. They form the foundation of your beliefs, influencing your actions and, in turn, your ability to manifest what you truly desire. As Buddha wisely stated, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Transforming these negative dialogues into positive affirmations is the key to unlocking your highest potential. Think of your mind as fertile soil. Each thought you entertain acts as a seed that takes root. Negative self-talk plants seeds of doubt and limitation, while positive affirmations cultivate growth, opportunity, and self-belief. By consistently replacing critical thoughts with empowering statements like "I am strong" or "I am worthy of success," you shift the narrative of your inner world. Over time, this practice aligns you with a mindset of abundance, making space for your goals to materialize. This process aligns closely with Stoic philosophy, which encourages mastering one's inner world. Just as the Stoics believed in controlling their responses and emotions, You too can train your mind to foster positivity and self-belief. Ask yourself, how often do you find your thoughts filled with self-doubt or insecurity? These thoughts aren't merely words, but are potent forces that shape your experience of the world. As Wayne Dyer wisely noted, you cannot control your life if you allow your mind to control you. By deliberately replacing negative thoughts with affirmations, you recondition your mind to support your journey of manifestation. This transformation takes time, but through consistent practice, it becomes second nature, leading to more effective manifestations. Consider how a child learns to ride a bike. They may fall countless times, but with persistence, they eventually succeed. In the same way, replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations requires time and commitment. It's a process of retraining your brain to default to thoughts that support your goals. With practice, your mind will naturally align with opportunities instead of obstacles, and you'll begin to see the path to your desires open up before you. Marianne Williamson said it best: "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." By silencing your inner critic and amplifying positive affirmations, you unlock your true power and set the stage for your manifestations to come to life. So how do you begin this shift today? Start by becoming mindful of your self-talk. Affirm to yourself, "I am rising above all negativity." When you notice a negative thought creeping in, consciously replace it with a positive one. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, "I always fail," transform it into, "I am learning and growing with each experience." Keep a journal of your affirmations and review them regularly to reinforce this mindset. Over time, positive self-talk will become your natural habit, empowering your journey of manifestation and bringing you closer to your goals. Remember, the road to spiritual awakening and manifestation begins within. By recognizing and transforming negative self-talk, you attune yourself to the positive energy necessary to create the life you desire. As you embrace this inner transformation, you'll discover a stronger, more confident version of yourself, ready to attract abundance and joy. Are you prepared to fill your mind with positivity and watch your manifestations unfold? The power to create the life you envision is already within you. Welcome it with faith and conviction. 6. Societal expectations. The next shift that spiritually awakened individuals undergo is the decision to break free from societal expectations. In a world where success is often measured by status, wealth, and external accomplishments, spiritually aligned people choose to prioritize their inner values over these external standards. They realize that true satisfaction comes not from conforming to what society deems successful, but from living authentically and faithfully to their core beliefs and purpose. For example, while the world may praise high-paying jobs or the latest technological gadgets, spiritually awakened people find deeper satisfaction in pursuing a path that aligns with their values, even if it challenges conventional norms. Another important shift involves releasing the need for external validation. In today's digital age, where likes, shares, and followers can determine a person's self-worth, the pressure to be approved can be overwhelming. Spiritually awakened individuals realize that their worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. This realization fosters a strong sense of self, rooted in confidence and inner peace, rather than the pursuit of validation from external sources. A significant shift also occurs in how spiritually awakened individuals view comparison and competition. In a society that often measures success by how we compare ourselves to others, whether it's in our careers or personal achievements, breaking free from this way of thinking is liberating. Spiritually awakened individuals embrace their own unique journey, releasing the stress of constantly competing with others and cultivating a sense of fulfillment and peace with their own progress. Furthermore, those on the spiritual path will move away from materialism. In modern culture, success is often seen as the accumulation of wealth and possessions, but spiritual awakening teaches that true abundance comes from meaningful experiences, personal growth, and nurturing relationships. This shift allows spiritually awakened individuals to focus on what truly enriches their lives, rather than being consumed by the pursuit of material wealth. Reevaluating relationships is another important shift for those undergoing spiritual growth. This process often involves evaluating which relationships support their growth and which relationships drain their energy. Letting go of relationships that no longer serve their spiritual path allows them to cultivate an environment filled with uplifting, supportive people who encourage their personal growth. Mindfulness and self-care also become a priority. In a fast-paced society that often glorifies constant activity and neglects the importance of well-being, spiritually awakened individuals recognize the need to prioritize activities like meditation, reflection, and self-care. By focusing on their mental and emotional health, they find more balance and live with more purpose and clarity. Ultimately, the fear of failure or the unknown begins to fade. Spiritual awakening inspires a sense of confidence and courage, encouraging people to face their fears instead of letting them control their decisions. By embracing uncertainty and stepping out of their comfort zone, spiritually awakened individuals open themselves up to new growth and opportunities. Ultimately, spiritual awakening is about releasing societal expectations and choosing a path that aligns with personal values and inner truth. By letting go of the need for validation, comparison, materialism, and fear, people can live more authentic and fulfilling lives. As you continue on your spiritual journey, reflect on how these changes can help you deepen your connection to yourself and your purpose. If these ideas resonate with you, leave a comment saying, "I am ready to live authentically," to declare your commitment to breaking free from societal norms and living a life that reflects your true self. 7. Material obsession. Many individuals, upon experiencing spiritual awakening, quickly come to the realization that their preoccupation with material wealth and possessions no longer serves their higher purpose. It's not simply about letting go of physical items. It's about embracing a deeper understanding of what truly holds value in life. As Buddha insightfully remarked, attachment is the root of suffering. By releasing the attachment to material goods, you align yourself more closely with the Stoic idea of focusing on what genuinely matters. This shift allows you to face life's challenges with greater calm and perspective, knowing that your worth is not determined by what you own, but by who you are and the intentions you bring to the world. Consider how much energy you invest in acquiring the latest phone, car, or designer clothing. Does this constant pursuit of more add to your peace of mind? Or does it drain your ability to focus on deeper, more meaningful goals? By shifting your attention from accumulating material possessions to fostering inner growth and spiritual enrichment, you open yourself to a life that is more fulfilling and aligned with your true self. Letting go of this fixation creates space for richer experiences and more authentic connections, nurturing both your personal journey and your overall well-being. This idea ties back to the law of attraction, which suggests that what we focus on expands. When you're consumed by the need for material things, you're projecting an energy that craves external validation. On the other hand, when you prioritize inner development and the manifestation of your true desires, you harmonize with a more balanced and satisfying energy. It's about finding joy in the present moment rather than endlessly seeking something outside of yourself. Steve Jobs once said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." This principle applies to life as a whole. True fulfillment comes not from what we acquire, but from what we love and value in our lives. Are you ready to explore how freeing yourself from material obsession can elevate your life and align you with your highest potential? If so, comment, "I'm embracing my inner growth," as a commitment to this transformative journey. Let's walk this path together and align ourselves with our true purpose. Reflect on what truly brings joy and fulfillment, and ask yourself if your attachment to material things is preventing you from reaching your full potential. This journey requires acknowledging that your worth is not determined by what you have, but by the energy and intentions you put into the world. As you move forward, remember that growth is a process, not a destination. Allow yourself the freedom to evolve and trust that by releasing material concerns, you will invite more meaningful experiences and deeper connections into your life. When you focus on personal development and the manifestation of your true desires, you not only transform your own life, but also positively impact those around you. The change you seek starts from within, and as you align your actions with your deepest values, you'll find that the universe responds in powerful ways. In this video, we explored 7 key shifts that spiritually awakened people quickly embrace, such as letting go of toxic relationships, releasing the need for control, and moving away from ego-driven desires. These transformations lead to a more peaceful and authentic life, where inner growth takes precedence over societal pressures and material obsessions. As you reflect on these insights, consider how you can apply them to your daily life to foster personal growth and happiness. Which of these changes resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us at Spiritual Wisdom for more transformative content on your spiritual journey.